You know, when we talk about AI in finance, the word governance usually gets a bit of an eye roll. It feels like a chore, right? Just another box you have to check for compliance. But what if we've been looking at it all wrong? Today, we're going to explore how to flip that script and turn AI governance from a defensive headache into your most powerful competitive weapon.
Okay, let's just dive right into the core idea here. For years, the race was all about building the smartest, fastest, most predictive AI model. But the game has totally changed. The new winning strategy, the thing that really sets you apart, isn't about raw power anymore. It's about building trust through rock-solid, transparent risk management.
So, to really get this shift, we have to start by just acknowledging a huge new reality about where AI sits in our organizations today.
And here it is. AI is no longer some side project cooking in the innovation lab. It's right there, at the very heart of the business. It's making critical decisions that directly impact your risk, your compliance, and ultimately, your company's entire reputation. And that creates a whole new set of challenges that our old security frameworks just weren't built to handle.
So if the old rules don't really apply, what does? Where does that new competitive edge actually come from?
Well, you can think about this evolution in 3 basic stages. Most companies start at stage 1, just trying to jam AI into their existing security rules. But the real leap, the game changer, is when you move to proactive governance, where you're actively managing AI's unique risks. That's how you build a trusted, accountable AI ecosystem. And that trust, well, that's the ultimate competitive advantage.
Of course, making that jump from passive to proactive, it's not easy. It brings up some really tough, practical questions that honestly, I hear from leaders all the time.
This is always the #1 concern, right? The fear that all these new rules and processes are just going to kill creativity and slow everything down. But maybe we're framing the problem the wrong way.
See, the real bottleneck isn't governance itself, it's unclear governance. When nobody knows who's responsible or what the acceptable risks are, everybody gets timid, they hesitate. Clear rules and defined roles, it's like painting lanes on a highway. They don't slow you down, they give everyone the confidence to actually hit the gas. Okay, this next question about the black box is a big one. But here's the wild part. The financial industry already has all the tools to solve this. Seriously, the answer is basically in your DNA.
Just think about it for a second. Your entire business is built on making huge decisions based on market risk and credit risk, things you can't predict with 100% certainty. AI risk, it's just the newest flavor of the same problem. The goal has never been perfect prediction. It's always been about having a robust framework to manage those known unknowns.
Yes, absolutely. At the end of the day, a person has to be accountable. That part is completely non-negotiable. But what good governance does is it fundamentally changes when and how we talk about that responsibility.
Look, if you're only trying to figure out who's responsible after something goes wrong, you're already caught in a reactive finger-pointing spiral. The whole point is to design accountability into the system from day one. That's how you transform AI from a potential liability into a supportive tool with clear, predefined guardrails. And this leads us straight into the practical side of all this. What should this new kind of AI governance actually be focused on?
Okay, this requires a huge mental shift. We've got to stop obsessing over the tiny details of the algorithm and start focusing on the real-world context of its use. It's not about the code, it's about the consequences. This right here is your starting playbook. For every single AI system in your organization, I don't care if it's simple or complex, you have got to be able to answer these 3 basic questions. If you can't, you don't really have governance, do you?
Because here's the simple, uncomfortable truth. You can't govern what you can't see. I mean, it's just common sense. As long as AI systems are invisible, kind of hidden away in different departments or buried in processes, your governance policy is never going to be more than a slogan on a PowerPoint slide. Visibility is the entire foundation.
All right, let's bring all these pieces together now and really look at the long-term strategic payoff of getting this right.
Sure, your competitors might look faster in the short term, launching all these flashy AI tools without a second thought. But this race to implement AI, it isn't a 100-meter dash, it's a marathon. And this nails the trade-off perfectly. Running fast without control inevitably leads to a crash. And in finance, a crash isn't just a technical glitch. It obliterates trust, it craters your reputation, and it permanently damages your relationship with regulators, the very things you need to be able to run far.
So let's be super clear. Good governance isn't about restriction or slowing things down. It's about building these 3 essential pillars:
controllability, so you know you can step in, accountability, so everyone knows their role, and when you put those together, they create trust, the bedrock of any sustainable AI strategy.
And this, really, is the bottom line. You can have the most advanced AI technology on the planet, but its true value is zero if your organization is too afraid to actually deploy it at scale. And that confidence, that willingness to truly let it rip, doesn't come from better tech. It comes from robust governance.
So the final thought I really want to leave you with is this. In finance, when an AI model makes a mistake, it is never just a technical problem. It is fundamentally a trust problem. And governance is the framework you build to earn that trust, to protect it, and ultimately to turn it into your single greatest competitive advantage.